part of that great Alouette team in the 70s and the architect of this Calgary powerhouse in the 90s. An old rival of Ron Lancaster, who went through Wally Bono's team in 1993 and engineered a Grey Cup for Edmonton. Lost in 96, and the Hall of Famer back once again. Danny McManus, every second year in the 90s, he has been in the Grey Cup game. And if the trend continues, he'll win today, but Jeff Garcia will have a lot to say about that. Garcia, his first start in the Grey Cup.
Well, you know what? What I like is, you hear about a lot of stuff about these two players, Chris. Danny Mac is getting introduced to the biggest game of the year. He's like, hi, guys. He's waving at home. Garcia more focused, more serious. Two different styles.
The 86th edition of a National Classic underway from Winnipeg, and former Blue Bomber Ronald Williams picks his way across the 40-yard line. Roger Reinson, a native of Melville, Saskatchewan, makes the tackle as Danny McManus leads the Tiger Cats out on the field, the second highest scoring team in the Canadian cheer.
Well, they got an excellent return. That's the biggest thing right now. They're starting from great field position, Chris.
At the 40, 1st and 10, and they operate out of a scatter formation, and McManus looks left. Morreale with the catch, and he's nailed immediately as Marvin Coleman tests the ribs of Mike Morreale, the top Canadian in the CFL this year.
Well, that's exactly what they want to do. They go with the 6 guys out there, spread everybody out. Let's see what kind of defensive coverage we're going to get from the Calgary Stampeders. Let's see what kind of matchups we're going to get. So when we go to the sidelines after the first series, we can make adjustments and we can game our plan a little better.
4-yard reception by Morreale. It's 2nd and 6 from the Hamilton 44. McManus with time looks across the middle. Closest man to the football, Andrew Gregg, but it falls incomplete. And it's 2 and out on the opening series for McManus.
Well, just a nice job by Henry Newby covering him. I tell you what, he tried to get Griggs coming across the middle. They tried to flare or flood the pattern and get Williams to take everybody deep. Newby wasn't biting, stayed right with him. McManus tried to throw it to him. But again, remember, he's a little emotional with his throw, little high, little off, and they'll get that all straightened out on the sideline.
Terry Vaughn is back with Marvin Coleman to accept the punt from Paul Osbaldiston. Short kick, and it's on the turf, and Coleman letting it bounce, and is decked immediately, and that will be a no yards penalty. Franco Roca was downfield first. He's the long snapper. A 33-yard punt for Paul Osbaldiston. Just underway with the Hanson brothers in Winnipeg and the 86th Grey Cup. The highest scoring team in the Canadian Football League, led by the all-Canadian quarterback, Jeff Garcia, getting set to go on offense for the first time today from the 38. There's a look at the offensive line. The Big Chill, Fred Childress, the top offensive lineman in the league. The bomb squad, 3 1,000-yard receivers. Travis Moore would have been there too had he not missed 3 games with an injury. And Kelvin Anderson was the runner-up as the outstanding player in the Canadian Football League this season. First play from scrimmage is play action for Garcia, looking downfield, and he has a catch. It's Vince Danielson, the runner-up, as the top Canadian, and Calgary starts with a big play, a 31-yarder.
Well, it's exactly what they were looking for. They wanted that coverage. They knew Gerald Vaughn was going to be all over Danielson. Danielson does a nice job of coming across, running, getting behind Gerald Vaughn. Nice throw. That's the biggest thing. Opening throw by Jeff Garcia, right on the money.
Danielson 10th in the league in receptions. 4 receivers for Calgary in the top 14 this year. Again, play action. And out of the backfield, it's Terry Vaughn coming across, and incomplete. That was the play, Chris, that was so effective last week in the Western Final against Edmonton.
Well, that's what they want to do with the defense of Hamilton. Is going to take that away. They're not going to play as deep, as soft, if you would, that Edmonton did last week. They're going to pick it up right away. Of course, it's all going to come down to these big guys up front. We know Joe Montfort, 21 sacks, but the other guys are going to have big games too. Calvin Tiggle, second in the league, but the guy, obviously, Lamar McGriggs, is the biggest impact player. And, of course, the defensive backfield, Orlando Steinauer with 8 interceptions.
2nd and 10 from the Hamilton 41-yard line. Garcia looks for Vaughn again. Orlando Steinauer draped on Vaughn, incomplete. Steinauer, one of the 3 All-Canadians in the Hamilton secondary.
Well, Chris, we just talked about Orlando Steinauer having 8 interceptions, leading the club on a club that had 37 interceptions, the most in the league. What these guys do is they have the ability to play a lot of man coverage. They can go step for step with these receivers. As that guy tries to come back, any receiver tries to come back, they're right on it right there. They break well to the football. Orlando Steinauer just breaks that play up, allows them to stop it. Now they got to try for 3.
Tough test to start for McLaughlin. This will be a 48-yard attempt. He was hitting to the north end in the 50-yard range during the warm-up. McLaughlin trying to put Calgary in front, and he has missed to the right. And this will be Steinauer in the end zone to put a knee down. So McLaughlin missing the opening field goal attempt of the game. A single point in Calgary has a 1-0 lead.
You know, the thing about this is both these kickers, you know, when they're kicking in warm-ups, there's no pressure. There's nobody rushing them. They can play the game. They can start doing the mental adjustments because that kick's not coming down from crunch time. But when you're in the game right now you know it's got to work. So you got to try and angle it. You start playing post. Do I play the angle? Do I play outside and hope it hooks in? Unfortunately, that time goes to the right.
Well, let's set the Hamilton offense. It takes over on the 41-yard line. This is the most improved offensive line in the league. In fact, they led in sacks allowed this year with just 15. We've heard from Mike Moriali. Darren Flutie promises to have a big game. And Ronald Williams and Amerson, the double threat in the backfield. Shotgun and a broken play, it looked like. And now down the field for Flutie. And he is out of bounds. Incomplete. Darren Flutie sprung loose, and that, in essence, is the game plan today for Hamilton, to use Flutie as much as possible. Coming out of the backfield, he's their key guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, one-on-one coverage, but look, nobody expects Danny Mac to do this. He's going to fake it. Look, a little broken play was supposed to be play action, but he has the presence in mind to get outside of Shante Peoples and almost completes a big pass to Darren Flutie.
Only needed 1 foot in, clearly. He could not get it down. Eddie Davis recovering for Calgary in coverage. And now 2nd and 10 for the Tiger Cats at their own 41. McManus over the middle, and he has Mike Moriali. And the initial first down of the game for the Hamilton Ticats.
Nice job of Danny Mac sitting in there. Great protection from the offensive line, allowing the receiver, Mike Moriali, to find the open spot. You can see that he's going to get the shot. Kellogg's playing him. Newby's looking at him, but he goes behind Newby, finds the open spot. Danny Mac with the time, strikes right there. Nice move, nice catch, first down.
21 yards, and the ball at the 49 of Calgary. Here's Amerson, and he's stacked up near the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard for Archie Amerson, who we have mentioned is very much in the pinball mold. Now let's set the Calgary defense for you. Well,
Chris, these guys are nasty. These guys have been jacked all day. Shante Peoples, Anderson, the linebacking crew, Newby, Hall, Johnson, the emotional leader of this team. Will he retire? Will this be his last game? And, of course, the secondary. Greg Frères, Hampton and Coleman on the corners, and Kellogg and Davis at the half. A very talented veteran crew.
2nd and 9 for the Ticats. Williams jumped off the left side, flag down. Amerson out of the backfield, close to a first down. But again, initial indication was movement by Williams. And a false start against Hamilton.
Well, with their sorting this out, Chris, the nice thing,
calling offside against Calgary.
They're going to call it. A lot of times when the receiver or the back out of the backfield releases.
Outside, Calgary number 92, decline, first down.
What happens is they'll see that, react, and jump. And remember, their quick twitch fibers are at the all-time high right now. They're still very, very emotional. They've got to take time to settle down. You're going to see a little bit of this happening right now in the early stages of the game. You can see Ronald Williams just coming off there, and it just distracts Steve Anderson, and he sees it and reacts.
So the Amerson catch stands, and it's a first down Hamilton at Calgary's 38. McManus pressure over the middle. Darren Flutie with the catch at the 23. Eddie Davis who has the difficult task of shutting down Darren Flutie, makes the tackle, but it's a 15-yard gain.
Well, the nice thing is, you know what? We better hope that he doesn't get into a big rhythm right now. But the nice thing is Davis, I mean, he just covers him. Flutie's not smart. Look at this. He pushes away with the helmet. Davis is actually trying to grab him. He finds the opening, looks, cradles the football. The ball is in front of him, not behind him. He doesn't have to reach. It's a great throw. But I tell you what, that is experience of these two guys working together for so many years.
You know, we heard Brian Williams talk to Doug Flutie about how he wasn't appreciated as much as maybe he should have been in the Canadian Football League. Well, Darren Flutie certainly has not got his due in 8 brilliant years. First down, Hamilton, left side sweep. Ronald Williams is a load, and he's finally taken down at the 16. That's 6 for Ronald Williams, the former Bomber.
I'll tell you what, when these guys came out, we looked at two things. We saw the Calgary guys, we heard their defensive line were going a little crazy, a little hyper. We saw the offensive lineman of Hamilton sprinting out. You never see offensive line sprint out in warm-ups. They are so fired up right now. They're getting great hook blocks. Seth Dittman that time. Excellent job on the corner. Ronald Williams. Hamstring? I don't think so. The guy is running hard right now.
2nd and 4. Cats at the stamped 16-yard line. Amerson up the middle, nothing doing. A.J. Alondra Johnson shut it down, keeping Amerson from the first down.
Well, nice job of A.J. reading the play, coming in, filling the hole, not allowing Amerson to get any kind of a seam in there to break the daylight. Just a great job. You're going to see him coming in from the top of your screen right there, filling the corner. The offensive linemen, they're running a combo block, which means one of them has to come off on A.J. number 51. They don't, allows him to come free. He makes the play, forces the field goal by the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
The attempt will be 24 yards. Oz has been perfect in Grey Cup games, 86 and 89. And he's now 11 for 11 in the Grey Cup game, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats have the lead. A field goal from Oz, and it's 3-1 Tiger Cats. Welcome back to Winnipeg Stadium on a gorgeous late November afternoon. Ron Lancaster has to be happy with that solid drive. 7 plays, 52 yards, over 4 minutes. And a field goal by Paul Osbaldiston to give the Tiger Cats the early lead and to shake the butterflies.
Well, I tell you what, they looked very composed. They were right on the money with the passes, doing exactly what they want to do as an offense, big time.
Marvin Coleman from the Calgary 25, and Coleman finds a seam down the left side and lunges all the way to midfield. 30-yard kickoff return for Coleman, who was second behind Eric Blunt of the Blue Bombers during the regular season.
Well, you know, Cooper Harris leads Hamilton in special teams tackles, and he's got to get it. And of course, Newby plays middle linebacker, but it's his job to keep him away from the returner, Marvin Coleman. He gets in there, makes a play, but not after. Marvin makes a nice return and sets up Calgary with excellent field position.
Cooper Harris grew up in Calgary, big Stampeder fan, why not? His dad, the legendary Wayne Harris.
The thumper.
Asked him yesterday who his favorite stamp was. He said Mr. Helton, John Helton.
Wow, and I got an opportunity to play with John Helton. What an honor.
So great field position for the Stampeders, just on the Hamilton side of midfield. And here's Kelvin Anderson plunging ahead for 7 yards. Ron Lancaster said earlier, Chris, I'm not sure if we can stop Garcia, but we have to stop Kelvin Anderson.
Well, I think this is what they should do. I mean, look at the offensive line. Get them involved in the game. Calvin Anderson right up the gut. Gonzalo Floyd missing the tackle. But what this does is sets the tone, makes the linebackers start to tighten up to the defensive line. That opens up your crossing routes or your passing patterns behind the linebackers.
He was second to Mike Pringle in rushing this year. 2nd and 3 for Anderson. They go right back to him, and that's a first down. Gonzalo Floyd, first man to trip him up. Lamar McGriggs is there, with Calgary trying to establish the running game.
Well, you know, he had the big game last time they played. He had 167 yards. And talking to some of the Ticats, they said, you know what, we were missing 7 people. Come on, it won't happen again in this game. But you know what, it's a great way to start it off, because what it does is starts establishing the line of scrimmage. And the one who controls the line of scrimmage usually walks away with something.
So first down for the Stampeders at the Hamilton 43. There's the play action to Anderson. Over the middle, it's Alan Pitts. First catch of the day in traffic after Jeff Garcia was buried by a wave of Hamilton oncoming defensive lineman.
But the big thing is we just talked about, what does the run do? It sets up the pass. That's how you're successful against these guys, because look, the rush is going to come. You know you're going to get some pressure. But the fact is, you've ran the ball 2 previous times. The linebackers are tighter to the line of scrimmage. It allows Pitts to get back there and make a great catch. Nice job of execution and setting it up with the 2 previous plays.
15 yards for Alan Pitts. Don Southern, the defensive coordinator for the Tiger Cats. First down stamps. There's Montford after Garcia, but Garcia is mobile, and he'll throw that one away and start over on second down. We saw that a few times last week, Chris. He is more composed now. He will throw the ball away instead of making a mistake and throwing the interception.
Well, I tell you what, look at this. This is one of the things the coaching staff of Hamilton was worried about. Joe Montford is an excellent pass rusher, but he likes to come inside. Now, what happens when you're playing against a guy like Jeff Garcia, who has the wheels? If he gets outside, bam, you could have a big play. But luckily for Joe, he's got some quicks for a guy 250.
Don Southern sending in the signals. Joe Montford, 21 sacks on the year. And the Ticats led with 51. 2nd and 10. Over the middle, Tiggle. And they look for a flag, none coming. And that's a surprise, because clearly it appeared there was contact on the receiver before the ball got there.
Well, Calgary, you know, they want to get a mismatch. Gonzalo Fly tries to line up like he's a linebacker. They get the matchup they want. Anderson and Tiggle. Throws the ball, you can see right there, the hand comes in, but I tell you what, that's pretty close right there. Let's give credit where credit's due. I think Calvin Tiggle did an excellent job on that play. Of course, when you're in a game like this and you're the guy trying to catch the ball, you're going to complain because you hope the referee will take notice, and next time it becomes a close call, he'll throw one in your favor.
McLaughlin missed from 48. His second attempt will come from the 34. And this one splits the uprights. And the Calgary Stampeders have regained the lead. Winnipeg Stadium, late November Grey Cup. Aerial shots of today's Grey Cup game brought to you by Canon Canada, leaders in imaging technology. The pilot Dave Thomasina and our Cameron Grant Freeman.
Well, I tell you what, why you have a quarterback holding the snap. Look at this save. This is fantastic. To take it off the turf, set it, get the laces pointed to where you want to go. Dave Dickinson, good job there, baby. I tell you what, Mark McLaughlin thanks you.
Just coming back from a broken wrist, Dave Dickinson. Here's Ronald Williams. Bouncing off the first tackle and up to the 36-yard line. Alondra Johnson and Jason Clement, who does such a solid job on special teams out of Simon Fraser University, with the tackle.
And you know what? Well, I tell you what, though, you got to like this. Here's a guy, Ronald Williams, they say all week, hamstring problems. He says, I'll take a pay cut if I can't play in this game. He is running back kickoffs. You know, they're not even saving him. They're not just keeping him for the offense. They're putting him in special teams. And he is running 120% to get to that line.
He was telling us he had a special concoction that his grandmother called up to him to help loosen it up. He wouldn't tell us what was in the concoction except for one element, vodka.
I might have had some of those concoctions myself.
Andrew Grigg stepped out at the 41, pushed out by Willie Hampton, whose dad played for the Montreal Alouettes along with Wally Buono in the early 80s. And Andrew Grigg with a pickup of close to 4 yards.
And you know, you got to like what Danny Mac is doing. Last week, the wide receivers only caught 3 balls. He's got to mix it up. He's got to get the outside receivers the football to open it up for the inside receivers, or else the defensive backs will cheat to the inside and they'll end up doubling Darren Flutie.
2nd and 7 from the Cat 40, and McManus looking downfield for Bobby Olive, and it falls incomplete. You don't test Marvin Coleman very often, but McManus stretching it out as he looked for Bobby Olive early in the game.
Well, you couldn't have said it any better, Chris. I mean, here's Marvin Coleman. He's only got 1 interception. Everybody goes, hey, 1 interception, but it's because of the fact they do not go after him very often. But let's take a look at the smarts. Danny Mac gets the one-on-one coverage he wants. Bobby Olive has separation in the beginning. The ball is thrown. He has to look over the wrong shoulder to try and make adjustments to catch it. Unfortunately, just a little too far for him to receive the ball.
3:40 remaining in the opening quarter. Big punt by Osbaldiston, driving Vaughn inside his 20, and he is down quickly. 50-yard punt and a 3-yard return. Chris Cuthbert, Chris Walby, Mark Lee, Pinball Clements, and the CFL on CBC crew at the 86th Grey Cup game. Jeff Garcia taking over the numbers last week against Edmonton. He called his finest game in the CFL. The 5-year vet throws outside, and there's Vince Danielson wrestled down by Gerald Vaughn. Let's check in with Glenn Suter.
Yeah, I just was into a conversation with Jeff Garcia. He was talking to Alan Pitts about crossing routes. What they want to try and do offensively is rub the Hamilton linebackers, try and get some picks created to open up Alan Pitts in behind him.
And Chris, that's what we were just talking about, and that's why they did have success in a one to Alan Pitts, but they ran the ball to get the linebackers concerned with the running backs and not looking at the slot backs coming across the middle.
2nd and 5, Stampeders. Good protection for Garcia, and over the middle, it's a completion. And there's Alan Pitts, and they're springing him loose.
Well, it all starts with the protection. Offensive line does a really nice job of allowing Jeff Garcia to sit back there and read the field. Remember, these patterns take time. You can see Alan Pitts is going to go up, come back inside of Gerald Vaughn, but this takes time. The offensive line, great job of protection. Nice job of Pitts reading it. Nice throw by Jeff Garcia. Look at Freddie Childress. Almost going to switch the stunt. Stays on Willie Whitehead long enough for Garcia to deliver the football.
11 yards for Pitts and the first down for Calgary. Kelvin Anderson, a cutback, and Anderson all the way to midfield. And if Anderson's allowed to run like that, it's trouble for Hamilton this afternoon.
Well, what did Ronnie Lancaster say? The biggest thing is, along with Don Southern, we've got to stop Kelvin Anderson. Then we can just worry about the pass. But if you're right, if they allow him to get this kind of yards and break free of tackles, it's just going to open up the passing game even that much more.
16 yards for Anderson. First down, Calgary at midfield. Play action as they fake to Anderson. Downfield, Danielson. Nice catch as he stretched out. And finally down by Derek Greer at the 29. And when Anderson's running, it sets everything else up.
Well, I tell you exactly. This is just a great job. I mean, Orlando Steinhauer picks up Danielson coming across, but he gets behind Justin Ring, too. This is a great thing about having a linebacker. You can see on number 36 on your screen. He, seeing or respecting the run, stays up tight, doesn't get back. That puts Steinhauer in a one-on-one situation where he's got to pick him up. And what happens? You get Jeff Garcia with on-the-money throws.
Offensive coordinator George Cortez, 3 catches already for Danielson, and a first down Stampeders. And now Garcia pulls it down, and the guy with the linebacker mentality diving head first for another first down.
Smart, savvy. 4 years in the league. This is what it does for you. Look at this. He sees it. He doesn't try and force the football. I'm going to take everything positive I can get. You give me a crack, I'm going to take off, and I'm going to make positive yards. He does this. This is just another dimension. Not only do you got to worry about Anderson coming out of the backfield, you got to watch about Jeff Garcia taking off with the football.
13 yards for Garcia. The ball at the 22. It's Kelvin Anderson. And Anderson wrapped up around the 17 and pushed back by Willie Whitehead.
Well, that's just a nice job of Willie Whitehead reading the play, fighting off the blocks ahead of him. They're trying to run a sweep, and when they run this sweep, they give Kelvin Anderson an option. If you can get to the corner, take the corner. If you see a crack or a seam, take the seam. It's kind of a 3-hole option for him. What he does in that time, he can't get to the outside. Willie Whitehead does a nice job in the middle of keeping his territory and makes the play.
Should be the final play of the first quarter. 2nd and 6. Again, Garcia steps up and fires, and it's complete. Inside the 5 to Terry Vaughn, and another first down. The Calgary offense is operating on all cylinders after 1 quarter of football in the 86th Grey Cup game. Calgary with the lead and threatening.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
Welcome back to Winnipeg Stadium. The Calgary Stampeders threatening the ball on the Hamilton 3-yard line.
And I tell you, one of the things that happens here is the defense of the Hamilton Tiger Cats sits back in a zone. What happens then is you can see all the linebackers are back here. Now, Freezer right here. Take a look where the linebacker is right there. He is just making it on the closing right there at that particular time. The defensive backs are still even farther back in the end zone. They got to play tight, and this ended up when you're this close to your goal line. You can't sit back and allow these guys to take the catch and make a play after they catch the football.
Well, you can see that Calgary with a big edge statistically, and they're in the midst of a 7-play, 85-yard drive.
Well, time of possession pretty even, 8 minutes to 7 minutes. But I tell you what, as we say, the yardage 3-1 favor the Calgary Stampeders.
And Jeff Garcia is using all of the weapons early. Here's Anderson to the goal line. Touchdown. Now some emotion on that goal line after Anderson got it in for the first major score.
Chris, we're going to talk about this a lot today. I got a feeling with the fact that they're running the ball effectively right now. They give it to Anderson. He goes off the left side behind Big Rocco Romano and Jay McNeil. Nice job of getting in. The lead block by Dwayne Ford gets in there. But what's happening now, the fact that they're having so much success running the football is causing problems between the linebackers and the defensive back of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They're either getting caught too far inside or too far to drop. And you can see Lamar Griggs gets taken out beautifully by Dwayne Ford. Anderson finds the goal line and sniffs it, and you're not stopping that guy that close.
Kelvin Anderson led the league in touchdowns during the regular season with 16. They botched the convert, and the ball is down. Dave Dickinson couldn't handle the snap from center. And that could turn out to be an important point in the football game.
Well, not only that, but that's the second snap that's caused them problems. Earlier, Mark McLaughlin was saved by Dave Dickinson's ability to grab the football off the turf and put it on the tee. That time, again, the snap is bad. He can't corral it. It goes wild. You can see it skips off the turf. It's just too low right there. You got to get that ball up.
Jamie Crysdale, the center, with the one-hop snap to Dave Dickinson.
You know, Chris, they're very fortunate because remember the rule in the Canadian Football League. If the defense takes that football, they can run it all the way back for 2 points. So they're very fortunate that Hamilton did not get their hands on that football and run down the field.
So a 10-3 Stampeder lead. Kelvin Anderson already 35 yards on 5 carries in this Grey Cup game. Crysdale conferring now after the bad snap. Kelvin Anderson told me yesterday, he says, we're not sure how we're going to beat Hamilton. We'll have to wait and see what the defense gives us, but one way or another, we'll get it done. And they did on that last drive. Bouncing kickoff, and Archie Amerson having trouble scooping it up. And now Amerson finds some room back down the sideline, and he's out at the Hamilton 24. 13-yard return for Amerson. And the numbers on the scoring drive for Kelvin Anderson.
Well, like you say, it ended, it was capped off. But, I mean, this is just nice job of running right here. I mean, Anderson breaking it up the middle. This is just nice running, avoiding tackles. And, of course, that sets up the pass. You know, Jeff Garcia can run with the ball, pass with the ball. He finds an opening. He's going to take it off. Then a big completion because, as we talk about the run, opening up the passing lanes, moving it down methodically, smartly, making no errors, and making Hamilton pay for it in the end.
Ticats take over at their 24, and big Ronald Williams with the carry up to the 30-yard line. 6 yards for the bruising back in that offensive backfield for Hamilton.
Well, I think that's the thing he described him perfectly. He is running 100. I mean, this guy is coming hard. And his offensive line, he's got a great offensive line. We talked about their pass blocking prowess, but they do get off the ball well again on the run, too. One of the things Hamilton has to do is stay focused, don't panic. And I don't think any Ronnie Lancaster coach team will panic. They've been in this situation before. They know what it takes to get the win. They are champions of the Eastern Division.
You know Danny McManus won't panic. 2nd and 4, and a flag goes down, and Bobby Olive was bumped there before the ball got to the intended target. And slow to get up is Marvin Coleman.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 17. First down.
Well, they'll take that, I tell you right there. I mean, the ball was overthrown. I don't know if Bobby Olive could have got it before he went out of bounds, but the fact is that Marvin Coleman is all over Bobby.
Not much question there. He had a little cloth in his hand, then the push. Coleman, a 2-time All-Canadian, but not this year. And again, we mentioned it earlier, that's in large part because they just never throw in his direction, but that's twice McManus has tested Coleman today. First down, Ticats, and there's Darren Flutie into Calgary territory. McManus to Flutie, a familiar combination.
Well, McManus to Flutie, you're right, 100%. But the fact is they get Jackie Kellogg, and he gets it between Jackie Kellogg and Alondra Johnson, who's dropping into his linebacker spot. As he gets that ball, Jackie has to come up and make the play. But Alondra, at the same time, is trying to get back and take away that outlet right now. When you got two guys and they're in straight, they're vertical, they're not horizontal, he just finds the opening between the two and makes the catch.
16 yards for Flutie, who was over 100 last week in the Eastern Final. First down, screen, Williams. Ronald Williams, big hole across the 35. And now the Ticats are moving.
Well, the offenses are doing a great job. And I tell you, you just have to like this play. Val St. Germain, I'm going to tell you what, he gets downfield on this screen pass and buries somebody. Number 57. I mean, the object is to let him in, block him, and then get downfield. Look at St. Germain. I mean, he pancakes that guy. Newbie, I tell you what, they're going to have to scrape him off the turf. But I mean, this is great. Look at this. This is putting your hands in the middle and then get him down and stay on him. You gotta love that as an offensive lineman, and I do.
17 yards on the pickup, and now McManus, Moriali with the catch. Flag down, and Mike Moriali has the football inside the 15.
Well, just a nice job of coming down and breaking it back into the middle. They were going to call pass interference on it anyway. Nice job. This guy's got cracked ribs.
Forward pass interference. Calgary number 3. Decline. First down.
Jack Kellogg in coverage against the top Canadian in the CFL.
Look at that move. When you get his feet to plant like that, faking the outside. I've never seen a two-step hop to the inside, but it works. He comes back in. But as I tell you, what about toughness? Here's a guy with a floating rib that's broken off, and he doesn't take any painkiller for it.
First down, Cats. McManus looks end zone, looking for Flutie, and he can't bring it in. Had a step behind Eddie Davis.
Well, he saw the blitz coming. He saw A.J. coming, Alondra Johnson, everybody coming in his face. He knows he's going to get one-on-one coverage. Great job, great read. Eddie Davis is staying with him. I tell you, that is just hits his hand, but that is exactly where you want to throw the football, where only the receiver can catch the football. That is a nice throw. There's the offensive coordinator right there.
R.D. Lancaster. What a job he's done. 2nd and 10. McManus to the end zone again for Moriali. And he cannot come down with the football. And again, Kellogg is there.
Well, Chris, we're going to have an offensive battle. It looks like both teams are taking every time they get the football, they are marching it down the field. Hamilton throwing the ball a little bit more than running it. And I think if they get Williams involved in it, much like Calgary is doing with Anderson, they might be a little bit more successful throwing the football, but that's not to say that they're not having success throwing the football at this particular point, because they're taking it down and they're getting something out of it. They're still going to come away with hopefully 3 points on this field goal try.
Third down, Osbaldiston in, and it's a 20-yard attempt through the uprights. So the Tiger Cats take 3 more, and it's now 10-6 for the Stampeders. But the offenses are moving here at Winnipeg Stadium.
Welcome back to Winnipeg Stadium, where the Stampeders hold a 4-point lead on the Tiger Cats. Off the top of the program, we talked about Mike Moriali playing this game with a broken rib. He's had 4 passes thrown his way. He's caught 3. It doesn't look worse for the wear.
Doesn't look worse for wear at all. And if we look at the screen and we watch what's happening here, Mike Morreale's caught 3 passes and takes good contact. He responds well to that. And you can respond 2 ways when something like this happens. Sometimes you're too filled with emotion to perform. He's responded excellent.
Mike Morreale also responding spiritually as he kisses his number 80 for Norm Casola in advance of this game. Chris?
Stampeders take the football at the 35 after the field goal by Osbaldiston. There's Kelvin Anderson. 5 more up to the Calgary 40-yard line.
Well, the old story, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They had great success using the run to set up the pass last drive that culminated in the Kelvin Anderson touchdown. And they're going to just keep staying with this until Hamilton solves the problem.
And it's been the year of the run in the CFL. Mike Pringle over 2,000 yards, but the successful teams this year, Chris, have had successful running games. 2nd and 5. Stampeders out of the backfield. Anderson, and just tripped up. Calvin Tingle saved some yardage for Hamilton with the ankle tackle on Anderson, who gets 12 on the catch.
Well, exactly what you want to do. They're now going to get a matchup. They got Kelvin Anderson. Tiggle's going to try and pick him up right here. You're going to see right here, he's got to make the tackle right here. Now, one of the things you like about this Kelvin Anderson, he's only 5'8", but this guy can break tackles. Here's Lamar McGriggs trying to get back in it. Saves the play. If I tell you what, if Lamar doesn't come over and make that play, Kelvin's running a whole lot more.
52-yard line of the Stampeders. 1st down. Garcia has time to look deep for Danielson, who came back to the ball but can't squeeze it. Orlando Steinauer in coverage, but Mike Morreale and Vince Danielson playing prime roles early in this game.
Well, you know what? They're all looking all week. We talk about who we talk. We talk about Pitts and Flutie. Those are the 2 big guns for each team. But you always wonder, both these guys, Morreale, and you kind of like the setup. Morreale and Danielson going head-to-head for the top Canadian in the Canadian Football League. Morreale edging out Danielson for the award, but both excellent Canadians, both excellent slot backs.
Both over 1,000 yards on the season. Morreale got the nod. Here comes the rush. Montford, and Garcia just got it away. He was buried by the sack master, Joe Montford.
Well, you know what? Joe Montford, yes. But I tell you what, Lamar McGriggs comes from the other side and doesn't let Garcia get to the outside. That's what makes him successful. You can see Lamar coming in your screen right here. That's what you want to do. Keep him in the pocket. Lamar beats his man, makes Garcia get rid of the football, because if he didn't, he's just another meal for the Montford machine.
Just over 9 minutes remaining in the first half, as the leading punter in the CFL this year, Tony Martino, moves in. It appears to be that he'll punt into a light breeze, and Bobby Olive will take it at the Hamilton 16. Bobby Olive drops the football. It's loose. And it looks like Hamilton got it back.
Well, I tell you what, can you say fortunate? Looks like Orlando Steinauer came up with the football. I tell you what, he's the only one there. There's 3 other Calgary Stampeders there. That is a lucky break for the Tiger Cats.
Well, the city of Winnipeg recharged the Grey Cup batteries in 1991 with a super week of festivities. And much the same in 1998. We're at Winnipeg Stadium for the 86th Grey Cup game, and Bobby Olive almost caused the first turnover of the day.
Well, you see Aldie Henry and Newby wrapping him up, and he pushes the ball. It comes out of his hands. He's very lucky that he's recovered. But I tell you what, you know that he's got that hand thing. He's got stitches on his hand. He's covered. He's got a protective plate, molded protective plate to try and protect the stitches from his cut.
Slashed the hand badly last week at the Eastern Final on a broken helmet. Here is Bobby Olive trying to get outside, and great contained by the Stampeders, and Marvin Coleman brings him down.
Well, on these quick hitches, if you're going to run a quick hitch, that usually means the defensive back of the corner is playing off on you. You got to go north-south. Don't try and outrun him to the sideline. He comes in, he's got the football, now go upfield. He tries to stop and go backward, and when you're going east-west, you're allowing pursuit to come in and make the play. You got to go up the field. Don't go to the sideline.
Loss of 1, so 2nd and 11, and this is where Calgary will show you a lot of looks on defense. McManus over the middle, picked off. Greg Frers, the safety, has the interception. There is a flag down. But Wally Buono told us earlier in the week, if we get them in second and long, we think we can give McManus looks that he'll have trouble with.
Well, they give him a look, and they give him a look that shows
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver. Calgary repeats second down.
But what they do on that play, Chris, even though it's called off and they have the second down repeated, is the fact is they allow the look to look like Flutie's free. Danny Mac sees it, tries to push the ball into him. Greg Frères is playing almost like the Cheshire Cat, the safety role. He comes up and steps in front of him. It looks like he's free, but you can see there's Greg Frères, and he's playing the safety spot. And he's playing tighter to the linebacker than he usually is at center field.
Well, now we've got an interesting situation. A 10-yard penalty makes it second and a yard, and already in the last minute, the Ticats have used up a couple of their lives because there was the fumble by Olive. They got back, and now looked like an interception, but Ron Lancaster breathing a little easier as he sends in his large team on second and a yard.
Well, he only got 7 left.
Give to Williams, and that's stacked up. Sam Peters not sure he made it to the yardstick.
Well, I think they'll measure this one, and they are calling for the yardsticks. What the defensive line are trying to do in this shot is just go down and submarine. By that I mean they go down and throw their shoulder pads into the offensive lineman's feet. All that does is allow them not to go and run, stuffs the hole up. Watch these guys right here. They're just going to run down there and get underneath these guys, and when you do that, it stuffs the hole and there's nowhere for Ronald Williams to go.
And they are short, inches short, third down.
Well, the first big gamble call here, and I think we got to go for it. I mean, I realize it's early in the game, but I think you want to get back some momentum that Calgary may have right now.
Remember last week at the Eastern Final, the Tiger Cats stuffed Montreal on third and short early in the football game.
Well, when you're going for 1 yard, that could be one thing, but this is just a quarterback down right now. This is a quarterback sneak. Don't even bother handing the ball off. Get behind the big hogs, find a guy, get the first down.
And that's what McManus does, and easily following the surge of Coulter, St. Germain, Chris Burns, and they'll get a fresh set of downs with under 7 minutes remaining in the first half.
And that's a big play. You know, it looks like such an easy play, but it's not. I mean, you're looking at the guys. You're not fooling anybody. Remember this. When you're going on short yards like that, everybody in the stadium, everybody on that defensive line, that defense knows what you're going to do. So it's just mano on mano. You're trying to get one helmet on a helmet and push them back enough to get the first down. They did it.
At the Hamilton 33, here's Williams, and Williams drilled as he hit the line of scrimmage.
But that's all right. I mean, they didn't get much yardage on that. They probably picked up 2 yards. But the fact is, they got Newby coming in, they got AJ coming in, they got the linebackers coming tight to the defensive line now. This is what Mac wants. Now he's going to go back and try and get over the ball.
Let's check in with Steve Armitage.
Chris, the last time Mike Morreale was on the bench, I asked him if he was feeling any pain. He said, I'm playing on 100% adrenaline. There will be pain after the game. I'll worry about it then.
We'll watch Morreale here on second and 9. Here comes the blitz from Hall. McManus steps up and finds Darren Flutie. Jack Kellogg was in coverage, but Flutie has the first down for Hamilton.
Well, he just stays in there and has the presence of mind. He sees the pressure. Offensive line gives him great protection. I mean, it's one thing to give him time, and everybody says Danny Mac's got the quick release. But when you see where that ball is thrown, that football, take a look. He's going to step up here. Now he's throwing it across to the front, away from Kellogg. Kellogg can break on that football and intercept it. That is an excellent throw. And a great catch by Darren Flutie by knowing where the sideline is.
He only had 5 catches in the 2 meetings against Calgary during the regular season. Third catch already this afternoon. And here's Andrew Craig, the native of Sault Ste. Marie, with another first down for the Tiger Cats and a gain of 12 yards. Andrew Craig will be married next weekend. He made sure he checked the calendar to see when the Grey Cup was, even though he was playing for a 2-16 team. Well, he was thinking about the Grey Cup.
Well, that's what you gotta love. And I tell you, this is something. Danny Mac knows that Griggs he's one-on-one right there, William Hampton. He knows it before the pre-snap. Bam, he's gonna go there. Hampton's playing off, get some positive yards, another first down. This is the way you're gonna move the chains.
This is a Danny Mac kind of first half. He's 11 of 16 for 118 yards. And a first down at the Calgary 54. McManus has time, streaking down the field. Amerson, and it falls incomplete. That's the matchup they want, Chris. Archie Amerson on the linebacker, Daryl Hall.
And I'm going to tell you what, I think had this ball, I just talked about how on Danny Mac was with his throws. If this ball is a little farther, he's got the step. You can see he's got 3 steps on Daryl Hall. It is going in the end zone. The ball's a little short. It allows Amerson to have to stop and come back to the football. Allows Daryl Hall to close. Second down.
Under 5 minutes to go in this second quarter. Daryl Hall played on the Stampeders '92 Grey Cup team. Went to the Denver Broncos for 3 years. And now McManus on second down. And there's Morreale. Another catch. Another Ticat first down at the Calgary 39.
You know, the thing about, you got to like about this guy, I mean, he just doesn't get flustered. Here's Daryl Hall. He's going to be asked to cover everybody. He's getting his drop. He's got an eye. You can see he's taking a look at Flutie, but he's got to move over to catch the ball. He's making a catch. Morreale on the ground. He's got to be everywhere. And that's where you catch him in the in-between situation, where he's wrong if he stays with Flutie because he'll go the other way, or if he stays with Morreale, then he'll go to Flutie. It's exactly what you want to do if you're Hamilton.
Mike Morreale, the Hamilton native, and here is the pitch left side, and Williams crashing down to the 35. Shante Peoples, another former Bomber, bringing down an old teammate.
Well, just a little option pitch, you know, give it to Ronald Williams, let him find a hole. He can take it anywhere. He can go outside, inside, but get positive yards, and he does. He picks up 4, shortens it up. They only need 6 yards to keep the chains moving. Allows Danny Mac to utilize the full playbook at his hand.
Well, he was a standout player here in Winnipeg. Wally Buono says he won't be highlighted as much in the Calgary defensive package. 2nd and 7, rush on, wide open, Ronald Williams, touchdown, Tiger Cats.
Well, I tell you what, Chris, we talked to Alondra Johnson before the game. We said to him, you know what? We know that Daryl Hall is going to be picking up Amerson out of the backfield. Are you going to be covering anybody? He says, you know what? I am responsible for Ronald Williams. They bring the safety blitz. Greg Frères is coming on the safety blitz. They pick him up. Danny Mac knows he's got one-on-one coverage with Williams. Picks him up, throws it. AJ gets caught, nice throw, touchdown, but it's the composure and the smartness and the leadership we talked about Danny Mac to recognize the situation, see the blitz coming by Greg Frères, and know he's got one-on-one coverage and beat him with a touchdown.
They beat the 10-year veteran, the top defensive player in the West this year, 35 yards. McManus to Williams. And we have been told there is a clock problem, possible adjustment as the clock ran on, and they will put 11 seconds more on the clock. Remember, that drive started in near disastrous fashion. First the Olive fumble on the punt return, and then the interception negated by a penalty against the Stampeders.
You know, you got to take advantage of breaks. Yeah, they got 2 big breaks, as you say, the Bobby Olive and then the pass interference. But I tell you what, good teams will take advantage of that and regain composure. And I tell you what, you're looking at Danny Mac right now. He's on a roll right now, and he's reading defenses like he never has. Look for great things right now, boy.
Ronald Williams led the Canadian Football League in rushing touchdowns with 13 this season. This is the first time he has scored one through the air.
Well, I tell you what, one of the biggest keys is this guy, Danny Mac right here, is going to read this guy coming on the blitz. As Greg Frères comes up, he knows there's nobody in the middle right now. He gets one-on-one coverage. There's Ronald Williams. He gets behind AJ, Alondra Johnson, and it's an easy jaunt into the defense. Great recognition by Danny Mac.
Interesting chess match developing here in the '86 Grey Cup game. 13-10. Tiger Cats with the lead. Osbaldiston with the convert. The Stampeders missing their point after. And Marvin Coleman, one of the deep men for the Stamps. And it is Marvin from inside the 10. And Lamar McGriggs drills him across the 20-yard line. McGriggs shaking on the play. He's got a tender elbow. We'll be right back. Well, a major cause for concern for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, although Lamar McGriggs putting on a brave face. He missed most of the year with the broken elbow, and it's the elbow that he injures on this play.
Well, you can see him coming in here, and right there you can see the elbow. It just kind of comes out. It pops in, pops out. You can see him reaching right for it right away. Now, anytime you have an injury, your arm, the calcium builds up over it. You don't have the same flexibility you always had before, and I think he just stretched it past that point.
Frank West replaces Lamar McGriggs, and here is a pass to Alan Pitts, and Pitts pushed out of bounds by Gerald Vaughn, the former Stampeder, at the 45-yard line. That's 21 for the future Hall of Famer, Alan Pitts.
Well, Alan Pitts just starts off. He's got one-on-one coverage all the way. He just runs to the outside, and he's going to come back across. You can see him fake him a little bit inside, take it to the outside. Great move, great separation to get away from Gerald Vaughn. And again, Jeff Garcia, much like we talked about Danny Mack, on the money with his throws right now.
Lamar McGriggs going off. He is a great run stopper for Hamilton. Frank West is usually the nickel back, not as strong against the run, and we may see Calgary try and take advantage of McGriggs' exit from the game. Let's join Caroline Corey.
All right, Chris, Matt Finley, a member of the 1992 Grey Cup champion Calgary Stampeders, is with me now. Matt, what kind of emotions get stirred up in you when you see your old team in the big game?
Oh boy, that's exciting. I like to be on the field with them, but the old body wouldn't hold up, so it's looking good.
What do you think of the game so far?
It's been an excellent game. I think the Stampeders have done what they wanted. They just got to finish off in the end, put it in the end zone.
Thanks very much for your time, Matt. Back to the booth.
2nd and 1, and Kelvin Anderson on the ground, chewing some yards up. And again, the whole complexion of that Hamilton defense changes without McGriggs.
Well, it surely does. And I mean, if you're looking in the Hamilton defensive line and on the linebackers in their eyes right now, they're saying, you know what, they know how much McGriggs is. He's a leader in the locker room. They say he's got a great attitude. He leads by example, and they call him an impact player. By that, I mean when he hits people, he causes turnovers.
First down Stamps at the Hamilton 49. They stick with Anderson, and he gets stuck by another former Stamp, Gonzalo Floyd.
Well, that's just a nice job of Gonzalo Floyd fighting off the block, the lead block, coming back inside and making the play, making the stick on Calvin Anderson. He's down here in the bottom. He's just going to keep flowing right here. Gets cut. Now watch here. He comes back up again. We talked to Ron Lancaster about him. He says he makes so many plays. Everybody thinks he's down or he cut him. He makes up. He gets interceptions. He knocks balls down. That time stops Kelvin.
He was a Stamp in the 95 Grey Cup game. 2nd and 9 for Calgary. And Garcia looks outside. First time he's called the number of Aubrey Cummings today, and the rookie out of Acadia tossed back by Frank West. And he'll be short of the first down.
He's short of the first down, and he makes a nice job. Again, Garcia having the presence of mind to see his whole field. He knows Carter and Steinhauer are playing off of him right now. He's got separation, makes the catch. Aubrey Cummings tries to find an opening. And I kind of wonder sometimes, Chris, how the referees make this marking of where the ball is advanced. If the receiver catches a football and then he's still trying to make yardage and comes back, it should be pointed at the point of tackle, not where he caught the football.
Ball spotted at the 42, and the field goal unit comes on. Mark McLaughlin with his 3rd attempt of the game. He's 1 for 2, and at the south end in warm-up, his limit was 47. This will be a 49-yard attempt, and again, we'll be watching the snap to the holder.
And somebody at home has got the Grey Cup pool ticket, 13-13, and he's just praying.
Another problem, and Dickinson throws it, and it's dropped, incomplete. Anderson had a first down and a lot of running room up the sideline. Ouch.
Well, I don't want to use the old adage you said about the Cats and 9 lives, but that is number 3. Because I tell you what, they had him beat on the play. Anderson gets the football. He's a very reliable receiver. They fake it. Dave Dickinson, the quarterback, has got exactly what he wants. They've studied film all week. He throws the ball. Calvin Anderson is looking to where he wants to go rather than securing the football first. That is another big break for the Hamilton Tiger Cats because he's got a lot of green in front of him.
And you're right, clearly the fake by Dickinson. 49 was at the edge of McLaughlin's range, and Anderson knows what he could have done with that. But a turnover on downs, and Hamilton gets it back at their own 42. Out of the backfield, Ronald Williams sidesteps one tackle, and AJ's not letting him get any further. There's Alondra Johnson with 1:10 to go. First half. Let's join Glenn Suter.
Dave Dickinson before the game got his wrist shot up, and just in case he had to do this play, it was a design play on the fake field goal to try and get Kelvin Anderson. He dropped the football, obviously, but Dave Dickinson had an injection in his injured wrist just in case he had to run that play.
2nd and 2. Williams. Big contact there near the first down. Dave Dickinson with the broken wrist. He ended up under a pile with Fred Childress.
Well, you know, the thing is that they've had 2 mishandled snaps before, so everybody kind of falls for it. But the thing about this play is, you know, the special teams coaches of the football teams, they don't get a lot of credit. They study film, they break down tendencies, and they saw something there.
Cats in the hurry up, first down at their own 53, and here's a ball downfield. Amerson incomplete. That's the second time Amerson's been sprung free out of the backfield, and they're just missing.
Well, that was on the money again, and I tell you what, they got the matchup. They got Daryl Hall against Amerson. William Hampton leaves his coverage and comes to help. He's going to come back in and try and help. He knows. You can see he comes off McGriggs and actually helps with that play because you don't even see Daryl Hall in the picture. He had Daryl Hall beaten on the play.
So the matchup has been the backs out of the backfield on the veteran linebackers, Hall and Johnson. It's 2nd and 10. Hamilton, 48 seconds left, first half, and Olive fell on his route, and it's incomplete.
Well, Calgary lined up a bunch and only brought 3. They dropped back 9. A little bit of an umbrella coverage just to mix it up on Danny Mac. They're not going to give him a steady diet of zone or man or the same look so he can start picking them apart. This time, they rush the 3 guys. They drop everybody else back. Danny Mac tries to force it, you say, to Bobby Olive. Bobby Olive, unfortunately, slipped on his route. The ball was not, the timing was off, and the ball wasn't caught.
There's Terry Vaughn deep. Marvin Coleman also back. And Osbaldiston. It'll be Marvin Coleman from his 6. Dancing around there and then out of the pile to the 15-yard line with 33 seconds remaining in the opening half. Well, what does Jeff Garcia do with just over a half minute remaining? Anderson. And a couple for Kelvin Anderson.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Calgary gets that aggressive attitude right now. They've always started off running the ball with Anderson, as Hamilton's going to call a timeout and trying to get the ball back.
Timeout. We found out last week in the Eastern Final how much can happen in less than a minute. In fact, in 24 seconds.
Well, this is a really big play, as you say, for Hamilton right now, because if they stop it, they're going to force Martino to punt deep in his end, and Hamilton is going to get the ball around center field, barring a great kick by Tony Martino. That allows them to do 1 or 2 plays and possibly go in for a field goal. You see Don Southern there barking signals to Tiggle. He's got the team record for 4 interceptions in 1 game. So he can do a lot.
And Suds knows all about these Grey Cup games. This is his 15th trip. We had the classics this week. We were showing great old games. Suds was in the 58 game. He was in the 68 game. He was coaching in the 87 game. And here he is today. 2nd down 5, and Anderson across the 20 to the 23, but he'll be short of the first down. And Calgary will be in a punting situation. There's Don Southern, member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, 1963 and in 58. There he is as a Calgary assistant. The Stampeders last Grey Cup.
You know the wild thing about Don Southern here, they showed him kicking off the ball. They showed him making tackles. He was a receiver. In those days, you did everything. You earned your paycheck, baby.
He got a little ribbing this week, though, because in the 68 game, he had a convert block. And a lot of the guys on his defensive corps reminded him of that. Here's Martino in on 3rd down, letting the clock run down. High snap. Martino did a good job to pull it down. And there's Steinauer, gets the flag on no yards, and this is going to put Hamilton in a field goal position. No time left on the clock, but with the flag, they'll get another play.
You know, they talk about the presence of mind of catching the football, not letting it bounce. Orlando Steinauer just demonstrates what can happen. Smart job.
Calgary number 8. First down.
I mean, he catches a football. He traps some guys in the no-yard zone. They move the football up. They got one more time for a play because the half can't end on a penalty. Ozzie gets a chance to add 3 to the score.
That's veteran Greg Knox. Wally Bono wants to call timeout now. He's got the wrong alignment out. But Knox burned in a sense because it was just a 25-yard punt.
Well, they say every play is crucial in a football game. It's the little plays that don't seem like they matter that if you get a penalty become big plays, and it may be the points that are scored that cause you troubles.
So it's a 40-yard attempt for Paul Osbaldiston. His Grey Cup resume perfect so far, and that line driver found its way through. Well, that's worth a smile. Is that another life?
Well, I tell you what, they got one back. That's where you take one back and put it in the bag. Darren Flutie, great job of grabbing the ball. Bad snap. Unbelievable.
16-10, let's join Steve.
Ronnie, line drivers are high floaters. You'll take them.
As long as it goes over that bar, it doesn't really matter.
What sort of an impact does the loss of McGreg's have in your defense?
Well, that hurts us a little bit because he's a very important part of the defense because of his size. You know, a lot of times he can run with people, and he's big enough to stop the run. So that'll hurt us some. You bet it.
That was vintage Danny Mac, but it took him a while to get going.
Well, that's normal, isn't it? We're all right. Everything seems to be okay. Everybody seems to know what they're doing. That's all that matters.
Ronnie, good luck in the second half.
You bet.
Makings of another Grey Cup classic as the Hamilton Tiger Cats lead the Calgary Stampeders 16-10 as we get set for third quarter action.
Well, let's get ready. I'll tell you what, the biggest story is Hamilton's second half time of possession. They were down in the first half, first quarter. They had the ball 10 minutes the second quarter. When you got the ball that much, you're going to do some things on offense.
And the Canadian slot backs were prominent in the first half.
Well, they were the 2 leading receivers. I mean, Mike Morreale, 4 catches, 62 yards. Vince Danielson, 3 catches, 61. You got to love this. I mean, there's a lot of hype. This is the Canadian Football League, and you love to see guys doing so well at the slot back.
Only 37 yards separated the two during the regular season, and Danielson missed a couple of games because of a knee problem.
You know, the thing that I'm really impressed with, though, Chris, is Morreale. I mean, made the story about him. Here's a guy that's got a floating piece of rib in his body. Won't take any painkillers. It's unbelievable.
Second half underway, and Archie Amerson fields the football at the Ticat 10. And Amerson out across the 40-yard line. Well, let's join Glenn Suter on the sidelines.
Well, I think the thing that we got to do is we got to complete our drives. We got to complete playing defense. You know, just way too many mistakes for this kind of a game.
With Lamar McGriggs out of the lineup, will you run the ball more?
Well, we ran the ball very well in the first half, and you know, I don't know what his injury is, but you know, obviously that's part of our game plan.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
They did have 66 yards rushing from Anderson in the first half. 5 receivers left side. First down for McManus over the middle, and Andrew Grigg can't squeeze the football.
Well, they have been very successful on offense, Hamilton is. And let's take a look at the last 5 possessions that they had in the first half. You can see they started off, they punted, then they got a field goal. Third drive, they had the big touchdown to Ronald Williams. They punted, and of course, the no yards call at the end of half that allowed Paul Osbaldiston to kick a field goal to give them the 6-point lead going to halftime.
McManus at the controls, and a 2nd and 10 situation at the Hamilton 42. Good protection. They dump it off. That's the screen to Flutie. We saw it for the first time last week, and he was nailed by the safety. Greg Knox is in there now, and that looks like it will be close to a first down, but he's come up a yard short.
Well, they got to get him back in the game. Here's a guy, you know, Doug Flutie. Look at him. Darren Flutie's just trying to get through those big hoggies, find the opening right there. He looks like he's actually blocking. It might have worked well just because of the way he ran it. But you're right. They want to get his hands on the football as much as possible because, as you know, he's got magic with Danny McManus, and he makes big things happen.
Darren Flutie, 6 times a 1,000-yard receiver. 5th all-time in the CFL in receptions and 8th all-time in yardage. He's just about at the 10,000-yard mark in his distinguished CFL career that has been overshadowed by the brother play quarterback.
Well, you know, that's a pretty big shadow to be under anywhere. You know, I mean, Doug Flutie's done so much. And I think one of the nice things, I mean, he still pumps the CFL. Now Darren's coming into his own, and it's not like he has to come into his own because of everything he's done over the years.
3rd down, less than a yard. In the first half, the Tiger Cats had a 3rd and inches gamble pay off. And it looks like this is just over a foot for McManus and company. And they hand the ball off. Ronald Williams right side, and McManus gives us the signal that's a first down.
You know what, Chris? I'm going to tell you what. This is a sign of a confident offense when they hand the football off to the running back. You've got that little bit of yardage to go to get a first down. Take a look. I mean, they got Freddie Chodas even lining up on defense, but I tell you what, when every time you're doing a short yardage like that and you hand the football, the back is getting the ball 3 yards away from the line of scrimmage. It's not like the quarterback who's just a half a foot from where you need to go. That is a sure sign of confidence in your offensive line that you know you're going to get it.
The Big Chill trying to clock things up. At 6'4", 345. Here's the pitch, right side Williams, and A.J. Alondra Johnson nails Ronald Williams as he crossed the midfield stripe.
Well, Alondra said he'll follow Ronald Williams everywhere he goes. He actually tried to follow him in the dressing room at halftime. But he knows that's his responsibility. He's going to skate down the line, does a great job of knocking heads, limiting the gain to 5 yards. It's just a pitch, option pitch. You can see he comes across. That's a nice stick. Nice job by A.J.
Let's join Glenn Suter.
Defensively, what they want to do is substitute Aldi Henry in 2nd and long situations and then play zone defense behind it.
2nd and 5. McManus short drop, throws, and Darren Flutie unable to hang on, and now Flutie shaken up, it appears, as he took the hit from Eddie Davis.
Well, he stretched out for the football. Eddie Davis gave him a shot in the back just to make sure he knew where he was. Knocked him out of bounds. May have knocked the wind out of him, but Darren Flutie's a pretty tough cat. He gets back on his feet and just walks off right now. It's going to take a lot to take that guy out of a football game.
Eddie Davis was not a Western All-Star this year. 3 of his teammates were, but Wally Buono felt that he might have had the most productive season of any of the Stampeders in the secondary.
Well, he could do so many things. He covers so extremely well, and he comes on blitzes. He has 3 quarterback sacks. I mean, he's very versatile.
3rd and 5, and a short snap and a direct snap, and that's Jared Smith out of Waterloo, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats pulling out all the tricks.
Well, when you're in this kind of game, there's no sense saving these kind of plays for training camp. I mean, you got to use them in the big game, and of course they just did this. Calgary tried a trick play, was unsuccessful in the first half. These guys, a direct snap to Jared Smith. Nice job. This is a backup running back. He knows what to do with the ball when he gets it. Nice job of finding the opening. Big first down.
Rookie out of Waterloo, a Hamilton native, one of 6 on the Tiger Cats team. And whenever he's carried the ball this year, he's done a job. So Wally Buono talked about special teams, and the little general pulls another trick out of his bag. 20 yards for Smith and a first down for the Tiger Cats. Here's McManus out of the backfield to Williams. Turns it upfield, and William Hampton helps him out of bounds.
If there's a guy with a quicker release of a football, you show me who it is. Danny Mack gets rid of this football. He just takes it, and as fast as he gets it in his hand from the center, it's off his hands into the receiver's hands. That is just an excellent thing. Watch him when he takes the ball. I mean, he's got it. Now, he's just so fast with the football. Right where it should be. Gets it to Ronald Williams. Let him do the work after he catches the football. Puts him in 2nd and short. Great situation to be in when you're starting to get into the red zone.
2nd and 4. Hamilton on the move. McManus with time, looking to Amerson, end zone, and the ball knocked away. Once again, they come oh so close to hitting Archie Amerson.
Well, they come close. They get Daryl Hall again. We've talked about this. That's the third time they've gone to him. They haven't connected. You're just starting to wonder, is it a matter of time before they click? Daryl Hall closing the gap. Again, the ball. Really surprising. Maybe the wind is playing tricks out there. It looks like it's not blowing. But remember, when you got a full stand of people in here, the wind goes and it is pushed down. Forces the ball to go short a lot of times. And they're very fortunate it did go short because Amerson had him by a couple steps.
Osbaldiston in again, and this time he misses to the right side. Marvin Coleman dancing around in the end zone and will give up the single point. Looked like a problem on the snap. And so the Stampeders dodge one, but they find themselves down by 7. Hamilton Tiger Cats by a converted touchdown after the miss by Paul Osbaldiston, his first ever in the Grey Cup.
Well, it's amazing. You think that the field conditions are so good, but we've seen a number of bad snaps. Franco Rocco with a bad snap. Darren Flutie gets it on the tee, gets the laces spin, but a lot of times as a kicker, it slows your approach to the football. And if it slows your timing off, usually the kick's going to go away, and it did on that one.
Yeah, you could tell Osbaldiston did the stutter step as he approached the football. Calgary with the ball, first time, second half, and Alan Pitts drops the ball. Usually reliable Alan Pitts got behind Orlando Steinauer.
We are seeing a lot of first today, Chris. I'll tell you what, this ball is on the money. Nice job of faking it. Jeff Garcia gets to the outside, gets the coverage he wants. He's got one-on-one with Orlando Steinauer. The ball is thrown exactly where it's got to be. Jeff Garcia says, come on, guys. We need to catch a few of these to keep moving. We got to put some points on the board.
You heard pinball at halftime, and you wonder, is that another indication that the Stampeders are tight? 2nd and 10 from the 35. Garcia steps up. Jeff Garcia puts his head down, but won't get to the 45. He'll be short of the first down as the safety, Rob Hitchcock, another Hamilton native, stepped into the quarterback of the Stampeders.
Well, Rob Hitchcock came into him, but Calvin, the Terminator, Tiggle, he come over here. Now watch, Jeff Garcia can't see anything. He's going to look for an opening, sees a little seam, gets up there. Now watch Tiggle just step in there with the shoulder pad. And that is a nice thing. I tell you what, when you get him knocked, you knock him backwards. Watch Monfort, nice spin move, but nice job of pass protection by Ron Meyer. Great job of the right tackle of the Calgary Stampeders.
3rd and 2, so Martino back in. All-Canadian for the first time. Averaged over 48 yards a punt during the regular season. Ball bouncing to Bobby Olive at his own 30. He'll double back and is swarmed at the 38. 37-yard punt, 8-yard return. Here's Steve Armitage.
Chris, Hamilton is on a roll, up by 7, but all the news is not good. Lamar Griggs has re-injured that elbow. It is indeed a broken elbow, a broken left arm. He will not be back in this game. So Don Southern and the defensive corps of the Ticats will certainly have their work cut out for them.
Well, clearly bad news. The only silver lining is that Don Southern's defense had to do without Lamar McGriggs for most of the season.
You're exactly right, Chris. And they've had to make this adjustment before, so they've had time to work with it. It's very unfortunate for Lamar McGriggs, though, as he is a very much an impact player.
Look at Ronald Williams maintain his balance and thunder to the 50. A 13-yard run by Ronald Williams.
Well, this offensive line of Hamilton's just doing a number. I mean, they're doing a great job. What they're doing is a fold block. That means the guard is blocking out, the tackle's coming underneath and picking up the linebacker, and they just do an excellent job of opening a hole, getting on the linebackers, and allowing Ronald Smith a seam to get up there and pick up great yardage.
Ronald Williams said prior to the game he felt that his backfield mate Archie Amerson would be the MVP. Whoa, there's a big hit on Flutie. Jack Kellogg stepped up and flattened Darren Flutie, and the ball falls incomplete.
Well, Kellogg put his label on Darren Flutie right there. And those are one of those dangerous passes right there where you leave your receiver up high like that. The ball's not caught. You know, your cornerback is just coming right up, and he's got his eyes just gunning for your chest. He's going to try and knock everything out of you, including last week's supper.
Mike Roach, the defensive coordinator, Wally Buono, a very hands-on head coach with his defensive unit. 2nd and 10. And McManus just got it away, and Andrew Grigg has a first down. Oh, Danny McManus dodges a bullet, throws a strike, and a 13-yard gain.
Well, you know what, Chris? They bring Jackie Kellogg. We just saw him last play lay a pasting on Darren Flutie. Well, they bring Kellogg on a blitz this time. He sits in there, sits in there, sits in there. Finally, you can see Kellogg coming around. He's all over him. Nice job getting the football, of course, and Andrew Grigg's nice catch, turning it back up for first yard. They're just keeping the drive alive.
214 yards for McManus. Chris Burns, a former Stampeder. McManus looked left, looked right, and now throws the football away.
That's one of the first times I've seen Danny McManus get what we call happy feet, where he starts bouncing around like a dancer. He can feel the pressure. You can see his feet are just going up and down. He's trying to find somebody. His feet are moving. He decides at the last second, I know I'm going to get hit from somewhere. I better get rid of the football. You can see he's almost like he's got that spider sense right there. Peoples with a shot in the back just to let him know that he is in the neighborhood.
Well, the offensive coordinator is R.D. Lancaster, and he likens his quarterback to his father. Thinks that McManus is very much like Ron Lancaster, the quarterback. McManus on 2nd down, throwing. Bobby Olive, did he make the catch? No. In front of Marvin Coleman.
Well, that is just a super compliment to have anybody compared to Ron Lancaster. This is just a nice throw. Danny Mack's got him. He's just going to break in here. Look at him. Bobby Olive comes in front of Marvin Coleman. The ball is thrown where only Bobby Olive can catch the football, but you can see that Coleman is all over him, causes Bobby not to be able to squeeze the football. It hits the turf, and Marvin Coleman's very excited about stopping that and forcing Hamilton to punt the football.
Midway through the 3rd quarter, and as Baldiston comes on, it would be a 52-yard field goal attempt. And the Ticats will try to pin Calgary deep. As Baldiston angling the football for the corner, and it will kick into the end zone and through the back line for a single point. That's a 65-yard punt by Oz. Could be a valuable point. It's 18-10 Tiger Cats. Last 5 possessions for the Calgary Stampeders. Well, they got a touchdown, and since then, they haven't done much.
No, as you said, they got a touchdown, punt, big turnover, punt. I mean, that's what Wally says they need to do, is start putting some consistency together, start taking advantage of their drives, and put points on the board.
And there's a big play, though. Kelvin Anderson, 12-yard run as they try to reestablish the ground game. Darren Flutie is in some discomfort at the Hamilton bench.
Well, he may be into some discomfort, but I tell you what, you're not going to get this guy out of the football game on a game like this. Aldi Henry with a great stick right in the side on him after he makes a great catch, but you will not get him out of the football game on that kind of a hit.
He may have to borrow Moriali's flak jacket. First down after the run by Anderson. Now they play action, and Garcia goes up top, but Alan Pitts had been slowed up in the route and wasn't near the football.
Well, Alan Pitts was slowed up by his own teammate. Moore is trying to run. They're both going to go down the football field. Travis Moore is going to cut back inside. He's going to try and clear it. You can see him run into each other right there. That's all that happened. It's almost like a pick play that went bad. They're trying to knock off one guy, allow Allen to come free down the sidelines. They ran into each other. Travis Moore has to take that more inside toward the middle. He can't settle down. He's got to go and run his route.
2nd and 10 for Garcia. Faked the screen and now throws it up the middle, and there's a first down to Travis Moore. You don't usually see the wideout catch a screen like that, but Travis Moore has his first catch and a first down Calgary.
Well, as you said, his first catch, and that's key when you're in the 3rd quarter right now. What you got to do is you got to start getting all your weapons involved. They got 4 1,000-yard receivers. Travis Moore can come across, make catches. All these guys, if they get the ball, they can all break it. So you got to start using these guys.
and he was the most productive guy against the Hamilton Tiger Cats this year. Couple of touchdowns. Garcia just his 4th completion since the end of the first quarter, and there is number 5 to Terry Vaughn. And this is when Calgary gets dangerous, when they start using everybody.
Well, they have to. I mean, they were really starting to just go to Pitts and Danielson in the middle. We're really forgetting about the outside guys. And we talked about what would happen if Hamilton had that happen. The cornerbacks and the halfbacks could start cheating inside, double covering the slots. But now that Garcia's trying to go to the outside, he's forcing the cornerbacks to the outside of the field again, opening up the inside.
They have moved the ball to the Hamilton 46. It's 2nd and 5. 4 receivers right side, rush on. They come to the backside, and Kelvin Anderson stretching out. Looks like he'll be within a yard of the first down.
Well, if he isn't, you guarantee they're going to go for this. With 3rd and a yard, they got to start getting something going. They want to keep the momentum going. You can see the pressure right now. Gonzalo Floyd, Montfort coming after him, but they're letting him in. They're starting to do the screen, and why they're running so many screen patterns, Chris, is to start making the defensive linemen think about their rush. Make them hesitate a little bit. Make them see the same kind of thing so they can sit and they won't come off the ball so hard. It's a great ploy. It's a great way to defeat the pass rush.
3rd and less than a yard, and Wally Buono wanted a measurement, and he is going to get it.
Well, I don't think this is going to have any bearing on his decision. I think right now, with the ball on the 42-yard line, he wants to move the ball and keep it going. He'll probably send some big boys in there. The Elephant team, if you would. Wayne Ford checking into the football game. Aubrey Cummings leaving.
And it's a full yard. 3rd down. And another big play in the football game. Under 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And the favored Calgary Stampeders already trailing by 8. A defensive stand here will be another huge. But Garcia is able to plunge forward for the first down. I mean, Hamilton turns it over on downs again, and they really are in the driver's seat.
Well, they are in the driver's seat, and you got to give credit to the offensive line of the Calgary Stampeders. You know, he goes behind the big guys, Jamie Crysdale, Fred Chodas. Watch them come off the football. They're moving. Look at where, I mean, look at this. This guy back here is 4 yards back. Jamie Crysdale, that is a great job of coming off the line of scrimmage and taking your man to the bank because you just scored with him. That's what you got to do.
And the injured Hamilton Tiger Cat is Willie Whitehead. So McGrigg's down, and now Whitehead has been shaken up. Well, this is more cause for concern for Don Southern. First, Lamar McGriggs and Willie Whitehead. 92.
Well, he's right there. Now watch him. This is what we talked about with Crysdale and Big Freddie Childress. We call him the Undertaker of the offensive line because he likes to bury you. Well, these guys buried him. They pushed him all the way back. They rolled him around like they were making pancakes out of him, rolling the dough.
There's the #1 pick in the CFL draft, Tim Fleiser out of Harvard. What a story he is. An academic All-American last year. His dad was a Heck Creighton Trophy winner back in 1969 with McGill. And Whitehead still in difficulty. Fleiser will replace him at defensive tackle.
Well, I got to tell you, one of the things that Hamilton has this year is they have great depth. Tim Fleiser would be a starter on any other team. He's a backup here because they have such a phenomenal front four. But any time that Willie Whitehead or any of the other fellows unfortunately have to leave the game, Fleiser can come in and do a commendable job. They don't really lose much in that way.
He was also a prospect as a hockey player. He was at a tournament in his teenage years, and he wanted to stay and watch the bowl games instead of go to his hockey game, and that's when he made the decision, I'm going to be a football player. Out of Westmount, Tim Fleiser in the game trying to stem this surging Calgary offense. First down at the Cat 40. Play action. Garcia dumps it off again. Kelvin Anderson with the cutback and a first down. He picked that ball off his shoe tops and comes up with 11.
Well, Kelvin Anderson does a great job of catching the football, but what he also does is he turns on a dime. Justin Ring closes, and I know it's going to sound strange, too quickly. You got to break down. Watch him. you can't anticipate where he's going to go with the football. Justin Ring, number 36, has got to stay in front of him, focus, and make the tackle. Don't run by him, allow him to pick up more yardage.
8th play of the drive, and it's Anderson again, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. And there's the youngster Kleiser with his first Grey Cup tackle.
Well, he comes in there, and Rob Hitchcock comes from the safety position. And what they're doing is they're going to send a safety blitz on the play, say, hey, we'll do what it takes. We're going to shake it up. We're going to mix it up a little bit just to catch off guard, hopefully cause a big play. They do on that time. They lose yards. It's 2nd and 11 now. Justin Ring is out of the game, and Kyle Walters is a nickel back for the Tiger Cats. 2nd and 10 from the Hamilton 30. 5 receivers right side. Anderson with that hitch pass, and Anderson gets the first down. The momentum carries him for the necessary yardage. Gerald Vaughn and Anderson have words after the tackle. Well, Chris, one of the things that I really like about Calvin Anderson, he's got 1,300 yards rushing during the regular season, but it's his ability. I mean, look at this. I mean, he makes people miss. He's only 5'8", but you got to wrap up on this guy. He's going to break tackles. He's been doing it all game. A lot of second effort, a lot of third effort, but he's getting great yards. You can see temper starting to flare right now. They can't afford to take stupid penalties, but they got to stay in the game. They got to stay focused and figure a way to limit Calvin Anderson's effectiveness running the ball. It is a first down, and here was the reaction of Don Southern. He wanted him wrapped up. Well, that's exactly what he's saying. He's saying, don't tackle with the arms. Get both arms around him, and that means get your helmet in front of him. Stampeders driving inside the Hamilton 20. Garcia, Danielson pulled down at the 10. Frank West drags Danielson down, but that's going to be a yard short of a first down. Well, I tell you what, they bring a blitz again. They bring number 7, Kyle Walters. And you have to start rushing. You can't just run into your block. Kyle Walters does what I consider the ultimate sin. Running into the offensive lineman, seeing the offensive lineman, and stopping the rush. I don't care what the size of the guy is. Run through him because you may be the guy that makes the play. Down to 1:10 remaining in the third quarter. Cats by 8, and on second down, Garcia just plunges for the first down. Well, they're really methodically using the clock right here. They're just doing everything they want. They're having their way running the football. They're really starting to dominate the line of scrimmage. I'm sure you're going to see Willie Whitehead back in the lineup, barring that it's a serious injury, to give him a little bit more meat in the middle of that line. So first and goal with under a minute remaining in the third quarter. Garcia from the shotgun, looking towards the end zone, and the pass overthrown, intended for Pitts. Well, I tell you what, he tried to get the ball to Pitts, but Danielson was wide open. And a flag underneath. Down, Chris. And it's offside Hamilton.
Offside. Hamilton, number 90. First down.
Gonzalo Floyd.
Well, that's a big break against Hamilton right now. I mean, you got to play smart football, disciplined football, and I know it's easy to say that up here in the booth, where we're not, the emotions are not running as high as they are on the football field. But don't do anything that's going to put your team in a bad situation. And unfortunately, that penalty really is going to hurt them because it's first down, goal to goal.
24 seconds on the clock, and Garcia calls his troops back into a huddle. Now play's been whistled in.
And this is a nice job of Garcia, making sure that everybody on his offense is on the same page. You're in the red zone on the 4-yard line. Don't make a mistake.
First and goal. Anderson cuts back and down to inside the 2 to the 1.
Well, he is just a darting type running back. I mean, he takes it to the outside. It's, again, an option pitch. They give him the football. He'll take it wherever the hole is. He'll take it to the outside. He'll take it to the inside. All he's looking for is a seam. He turns it. Look at the cutback right here. He sees the hole. And you know what that is? That is field of vision. Seeing the whole field running in one direction. You can see it right now. Nice job of protection. That's a great block. Coming back, Jamie Crysdale again of picking up the trailing guy that's coming over in the pursuit angle. Good job by the center of Calgary Stampeders.
Your buddies, Crysdale, Childress, McNeil, Romano, Meyer, and Garcia plunging touchdown. Final play of the third quarter, and the Calgary Stampeders cap a 14-play drive with a 1-yard Garcia plunge.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this drive not only to Garcia, I'm going to give it to the big boys up front, the offensive line. You got to give these guys credit. They had short yardage situations. They put Willie Whitehead out of the game for a couple series. They just dominated the line of scrimmage, and I tell you what, they pushed everybody on that defensive line into the backfield. Jeff Garcia had an easy time scoring on that dive play.
They botched the last convert attempt. Dickinson puts this down. McLaughlin puts it through. We're through 45 minutes of the 86 Grey Cup game. And we're in for a beauty. It's a 1-point game. 18-17, Tiger Cats.
Here's to the everyday things that end up being everything. Here's to all things simple, with casual clothing and footwear from Marks.
Headed down the home stretch in the 1998 season from Winnipeg Stadium. We're into the fourth quarter. What a march by Jeff Garcia.
Well, what a march. And look at these two guys, Ron Myers and Freddie Childress. Look at the surge by this offensive line. They're going over the top. Ron Myers acting like the fullback, jumping over the top, and they're pushing the defensive line of the Hamilton Tiger Cats into the end zone. And I tell you what, this is emotion. These guys know this is what they want. They're dominating. They're starting to take control. You would have thought by that reaction by Wally Buono they scored, but I think he's actually looking and saying, it's about time. I know what these guys can do.
They followed Highway 68. Big chill, Freddie Childress, and a 1-point game. McLaughlin line drive kickoff. Archie Amerson squirts loose across the 30 to the 34-yard line. 18-yard return by the Hamilton Scatback. Let's see what Danny McManus can do in response in Winnipeg. All you can ask for in a Grey Cup game. Headed to the fourth quarter, and not much between these two teams now.
No, you're right. They both are moving the ball, but I tell you what, the last drive by the Calgary Stampeders, you got to be totally impressed with the way they dominated. They used the clock, and not only that, they culminated it with a touchdown. That's exactly what you want to do.
Head-to-head this year. The Hamilton Tiger Cats lost 2 games to Calgary, outscored by that margin in the fourth quarter. Ronald Williams continues to be a load for Calgary to handle so far this evening.
Well, he is one fired up individual, and I tell you what, his emotions are still as high as they have been since we started. But Danny Mac, I mean, he just sits in there composed, finds the open guy time after time. He recognizes who's playing off. That's the key of a good quarterback. I should change that statement. That's the key of a great quarterback, because he sees the whole field and he picks out the guy that's in loose coverage and he gets the ball there now.
You saw a glimpse of the quarterback on defense, Alondra Johnson. First down, Tiger Cats. They went for Williams again. The ball was tipped. On its way to Ronald Williams. Let's join Mark and Mike.
Chris, the Stampeders won the coin toss in this football game. They chose the wind in the fourth quarter, and Mike Pinball Clemens, that's turning out to be a huge decision.
No doubt about it. 23 of 26 points in the first quarter were scored with the wind. They went against the wind in the third quarter and outscored Hamilton 7-2. Hamilton needs to move the ball against the wind here right now to be successful.
Chris?
It's hard getting a real gauge on how difficult that wind is. Flags on the uprights don't seem to be moving much. Here's McManus downfield, picked off. Aldi Henry, the nickelback, has the football at the Hamilton 43-yard line.
Well, this is a game of big plays, and Aldi Henry just provided us with a big play. What a great break on the ball. Not only coming in front, not interfering with the receiver, but being able to catch, cradle the football, not drop it, and turn it into a big return. Danny Mac knows where he puts it on rope. I mean, he's throwing the ball hard, but look at Aldi. What break. He knows Ronald Williams is the intended receiver. He anticipates like a cat, comes up there, makes a great job, a great catch, and a great return.
His first ever interception. Second-year man out of Michigan State. And now the Stampeders looking for the lead. Garcia steps up. Danielson cut down at the 36. Tackle made by Orlando Steinauer.
Well, we talked about Danny Mac and his patience. Jeff Garcia exhibiting some of the same. Just sitting back there. Obviously, Danny Mac there, not very happy with that throw. Like to have it back, but unfortunately, it's history now. But Garcia doing the same thing. Sitting back there, being patient, throwing the ball properly to Danielson. You see Danny Mac right here. He knows where he wants to go. He's got Williams, but Aldi Henry with a spectacular break on the football.
2nd and 2, and Anderson should have the first down. Calvin Tiggle, the middle linebacker, with the stop on Anderson. But Danny McManus has thrown a lot of interceptions in his career, and the one thing that will not upset him, it will not force him to lose his composure.
Oh, he's done it. You're right. That's been a trademark, almost a niche of his career. But the fact is, as you say, he doesn't worry about that. He puts it in the pass exactly where it should be. He's going to come back out here. The big thing, though, is he's put his defense in a little bit of a bind right now, and they've got to do a good job trying to keep Calgary off the score sheet.
First down from the Cats, 33. Garcia threw against the grain, and there's Pitts. Dragged down, but has the catch near a first down. Looks like that ball will be spotted around the 20-yard line.
And that's why you got to like him. This is a veteran. Here's a guy that, leads them year after year in receptions, but it's his intelligence. Alan Pitts knows exactly where to set down. Takes it around, sits right in front of the safety. He's behind the linebacker. He slips, gets up. Nice catch. There you see Rob Hitchcock, the safety, having to come up, make the tackle. But Alan Pitts knows exactly where to sit.
Down to the Cats 20, another first down. Calgary marching after the Aldi Henry interception. And there's Danielson with another catch and eased out of bounds. That's 8 consecutive completions for Jeff Garcia, who went cold after the first quarter, but's been red hot second half.
Well, I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons he went cold is he was sitting in the pocket. Right now, as he gets the ball completed to Danielson, he is stretching the defense. He is taking the ball, and he's rolling out to sideline to sideline. What he's doing, then he has the option. If there's nobody there, he can take off the ball, or he can throw the football. And that puts your cornerback, your DBs, in a real bind.
Second down, 5, Calgary. Garcia hopped up, didn't find anybody. Now throws end zone. No good. He was looking for Travis Moore in the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Well, I tell you what, I talked about Kyle Walters not coming on the blitz before. I was not happy with the way he rushed the passer. They're going to give kudos to him this time. This is a nice job of coming up, putting a lick on the receiver, allowing the jar the ball loose, preventing a touchdown. You can see Jeff Garcia feels the heat. He's going to roll a little bit to your right, throw across his body. Now he's got it. There he's got the ball. But a nice job of Kyle Walters on Travis Moore, stripping the football, not allowing him to come up with the touchdown. So, hey, good job, Kyle Walters.
Big play by the native of St. Thomas, Ontario. And a former Guelph Griffin, McLaughlin, puts it through. And after the Aldi Henry interception, Mark McLaughlin has kicked the Calgary Stampeders into the lead. West leads by 2 with 10:32 to go. Welcome back to Winnipeg, site of the 1999 Pan Am Games, and you'll see them on CBC. And the next Grey Cup game, the '99 Classic, will be on the West Coast. at BC Place Stadium. Aldi Henry went down. Remember Steve Armitage at the start of the game talked about the slippery paint? He went down in practice a few days ago right in front of us. Frankly, I didn't think he'd play in the game. Couldn't put any weight on the ankle. Wally Bono extremely concerned, but Aldi Henry made one of the big plays of the game. Here's Archie Amerson. Dragged down, short gain, couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. Here's Glenn Suter.
Travis Moore on that play in the end zone dropped the football. When he did, Wally Buono yelled across the field. If he had come back, he would have made the catch. As they were coming off, Jeff Garcia put his arm around Travis Moore and said, "Don't worry about it. I need you as this game goes on."
Well, that's a great point. And, one of the things they teach every receiver, and I'm sure Travis Moore knows it himself because he is a great receiver, is if you come back to the ball, you shield the DB from it. But in that play, hey, Kyle Walters did a nice job of getting from behind and stripping it.
2nd and 9, McManus looked for Morreale, and it falls incomplete. Greg Freres had a shot at the football.
And this is something you don't want if you're Hamilton. You do not want to go 2 and out because you want to get the ball, you want to use a little bit of the clock, get a good punt, throw it back, let your defense work from a better field position. Right now, Calgary's going to get this kick, and they're going to be at least on the 45-yard line of their own side of the field.
Danny McManus, just 2 of his last 9, and an interception. Osbaldiston, not a great kick. Bouncing to Coleman, flag down, no yards. And Marvin Coleman stopped at the 49. So that wind, the flags don't indicate it, but it may be a bigger factor. Just a 23-yard Osbaldiston punt. 9:17 remaining, 4th quarter on a spectacular November evening in Winnipeg, Manitoba. They've been celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Bombers' 58 Grey Cup championship here. 50 years ago, the Calgary Stampeders won their first Grey Cup title when they rode the horses into the lobby of the Royal York in Toronto. First down, Jeff Garcia rolls left side. Terry Vaughn took a lick from Steinauer, but hung on to the football. And it's into Hamilton territory at the Cat 51 near a first down.
Well, 2 things. The first thing is this is the key drive, not only for Calgary, but for Hamilton. You've got to get the ball back to your offense. Don't allow any more points. Second thing that's really important is Garcia is really stretching the defense right now. He is not sitting in the pocket. He is rolling out. He's doing whatever it takes, whether it's bootlegging or racing to the corner on rollouts, but he's forcing the defense to change the way they play him.
Completion's the same, yardage just about the same. McManus with the 1 touchdown, the 1 interception, and on 2nd and less than a yard, Jeff Garcia moves the ball. The only difference is Garcia's ability to run the football. McManus won't give you that, but he will give you the composure and the confidence that he can lead his team from behind, as we saw a week ago.
Yeah, Danny's never had to really run, but he will take off with it. I mean, he's got a touchdown in years past in crucial games on bootlegs where you'd never think he'd do that. So don't be surprised if you see something from Little Mac.
94 Grey Cup game, he did just that. First down, play action. Pitts wide open, and he slides down at the 36-yard line. And Calgary continues to move the yardsticks now. They've looked very impressive in the second.
Well, very impressive. And Jeff is just, he is the field general out there right now, and he's picking them apart. He's seeing exactly what he wants to see. He's getting the ball there. Alan Pitts is finding the opening, just getting the nice ball. They're not taking big things. They're taking what Hamilton's giving to them. Look at the protection here. Meyer, Freddie Childress with a little bit of a swing move. Get a little music for that. But I tell you what, everything they're doing is working.
14 yards for Pitts, a first down. Now Kelvin Anderson back to the ground, and Kelvin Anderson down to the 27-yard line. That's close to another first down, and he's over 100 yards on the evening. Kelvin Anderson goes over 100 with that carry.
Well, he's had a great game running the ball. We mentioned this earlier, Chris. One of the things that's really impressed me, and I'm sure the people watching this game, is his ability to break tackles. Watch this. There's guys that got a shot at him. 1 tackle there, 2 tackles there. Montford wraps him up, but not before he's picked up 9 yards.
Another 2nd and 1, and Garcia plunges forward. Remember in the first quarter I mentioned Anderson was quite sincere and not at all concerned about saying, I'm not sure how we're going to get it done today. It's just that Calgary can beat you so many ways, and it depends on how the defense approaches them.
Well, you can take a look at that 131 yards to 64. That's a big key right there. And I tell you what, what's going to come about is when you get the second and short situations, Jeff Garcia's got a free down. He could throw the ball on that. We should not anticipate him just always going for the quarterback sneak. He could pull something out of his hat.
6.5 minutes to go. Calgary by 2 and threatening to add to it. Into the end zone, Alan Pitts, and the ball didn't get there. Incomplete.
Well, I tell you what, Rob Hitchcock from the safety position comes across the field, sees the ball in flight, and just does a nice job of getting a hand on the football, because I tell you what, Alan Pitts thought this was 7 points. Take a look here. I mean, he's going to drop back. Good protection, little play action. He throws the ball, a little bit of a flutter, but look at Rob Hitchcock come over there at the last second and knock that football away. Alan Pitts has got his man, Gerald Von beat. He's just waiting for the football right now. That is a great vertical leap and a nice job.
Out of Glendale High School in Hamilton, what a powerhouse that's been over the years. Dennis Griffin, Ed Turk running that program. 2nd and 10. Garcia the long out, incomplete for Danielson. Orlando Steinauer was in tight coverage, and the drive stalls in field goal range, and Ron Lancaster has to be breathing a little easier.
Well, you have to, but one of the nice things is when you're playing football, the biggest thing about football is you're looking for people to make big plays. Rob Hitchcock just made a big play last time, knocked a sure touchdown out of Alan Pitts. What happens, and the rest of the team goes, hey, yeah, let's pick it up. They do a nice job on 2nd down. They limit them to hopefully a field goal, but they got an opportunity. We're not getting behind the 8 ball too early. They give their offense another chance to start moving the football.
Mark McLaughlin trying to expand Calgary's lead to 5 with this 32-yard attempt. And the Winnipeg native puts it through. It's 23-18, 5:45 to play. Previous drive for Calgary, Kyle Walters strips Travis Moore in the end zone, and on this drive it's Rob Hitchcock with the big defensive play.
Well, big time anticipation and breaking on the football, leaving his responsibilities as a midfielder, coming across, helping his boys out, making the big play, preventing a touchdown.
So instead of 2 touchdowns, it's only 2 field goals and a 5-point lead for the Calgary Stampeders, who have dominated in time of possession in the second half. McManus looking deep, looking for Darren Flutie, and off his fingertips as he got isolated on Alondra Johnson.
Well, I tell you what, he had him beat. Nice throw, Danny Mack, good authority throwing the football. Take a look, he's working against William Hampton there. Number 21, these black jerseys, the number is very hard to read. But he comes up, look at this. Oh, he's got one hand on it. I tell you what, they're going to keep going. One of the things about Danny Mack is he will keep going back to the well until he pulls up water.
2nd and 10 from the Hamilton 35. Here comes the rush. McManus steps up. Near the line of scrimmage, dumped it off to Andrew Grigg. It's a first down. Oh, that was close. Danny McManus was right on the line, and I was looking for the flag. He might have been leaning a little over that line.
Now you got to talk about a guy that has vision. You're looking for the receivers. When you're looking for receivers, your head is not looking at the line of scrimmage. You're not looking down. Look at him. I mean, look, he's looking down the field, but he has enough presence of mind to know exactly where the yard marker is. Unbelievable. But take a look. This, all of us just waving. He wants the ball. He's wide open. He's broken coverage. But of course, Danny's just worried about getting rid of the ball, keeping the chains moving.
First down, under 4.5 minutes left in traffic. That ball incomplete. Both Emerson and Moriali were in the neighborhood. And let's go downstairs to Markin Pinball.
Chris, the Tiger Cats need life on offense in the second half. Last week in the East Final, they scored only 4 points in the second half, including Osbaldison's final field goal. So far in this game, Mike, just 2 points.
And not only that, now they're going to have to do it against the wind, where they haven't been effective today. They've only scored 5 of their 20 points against the wind.
Chris?
Well, Danny Mack said last week we got away from the running game. And we haven't seen much of Ronald Williams.
And remember one thing, Danny Mac has played in the stadium before. He knows the wind conditions here.
2nd and 10, and McManus takes off. Chris Walby, you predicted he might just do that, and what a time to do it and move the sticks.
You don't anticipate this guy taking off with the football, but he'll do what he does. If he sees a seam, he knows the importance of this game. Look at Jermaine Miles here. He's going to rush the passer. He's working against Dave Hack. He sees him. Danny Mac pulls it down to something he's not known for, but he will do to get the first down. He'll do whatever it takes. He'll bake a cake if it takes to win the cup. That's what he'll do.
He only had 72 yards rushing this season. And a measurement required.
You know what, Chris? He only had 72 yards rushing, but he also had 3 touchdowns rushing. I mean, he'll do what it takes, and I think the big thing about him is if he does that a couple more times, he's going to really make these defensive linemen and linebackers wonder about this.
It is 3rd down and inches. Crunch time at Winnipeg Stadium. And McManus moves the chains in behind Carl Coulter and Chris Burns. You know, Mike Morreale was saying last week they get in the huddle after the Montreal touchdown. There's only 24 seconds left. It looks like the season's over. And there was such calm in the Hamilton huddle with Danny McManus that they really didn't realize the gravity of the situation.
Hey, anybody that's on Hamilton right now, you've got to be excited to have Danny Mac. They all know his history. They know his magic capabilities. You've got to love having him on your team.
First down, Cats at the Calgary 49. McManus, Amerson. Archie Amerson outside. He'll go. Archie Amerson, and they're ruling him out at the 2.
What a block by Ronald Williams. I'm going to tell you what, downfield, he knocks out Mohamed Ali. I tell you what, he just knocks out Greg Frere, allowing Archie Amerson to get to the outside. What a hit. Boy, oh boy.
47 yards, under 3 minutes to go in Winnipeg. Alondra Johnson just up, still woozy after an enormous collision with his teammate and fellow linebacker, Daryl Hall.
Well, just a little swing past Archie Amerson. One of the things he's got is great mobility. Look at that hit, bam! I mean, you're talking AJ and Daryl Hall head to head, but I tell you what, the big play is down out of your screen. It is a great block by Ronald Williams, and tell you what, Henry Newby saving a sure touchdown. Look at that shot right there.
And that little move by Amerson is why they call him Hamilton's version of the pinball. First and goal from inside the 2. Williams to the goal line. No signal. Danny McManus thought he was in.
Well, that's a nice job of the Calgary defensive line and linebacker stuffing it at the goal line right there, preventing Ronald Williams from getting into the end zone. This is his specialty, Ronald Williams. Watch the surge. Good job of getting underneath it. A good job of following the ball carrier and staying with the ball carrier.
Jason Clement came over the pile and made sure Williams didn't cross the plane.
And here's the guy that's got 13 touchdowns rushing. It's a battle to keep him out of the end zone.
Second and goal. Williams again. No signal yet. And they drive him back. Henry Newby, who was in the Ticap training camp but couldn't oust Calvin Tiggle to the starting middle linebacker job, shuts the door.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I don't want to go shades of the past here again, Chris. This is drama right here. 3rd down, you've got to score. Could we see Danny Mac in a little bootleg?
Hamilton 4 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. Remember, Newby saved the touchdown on the big play by Amerson. They've shut the door twice. 3rd and goal. Williams to the goal line. Touchdown. And Ron Lancaster's looking for 2. They'll go for the 2-point convert.
but a great job on the offensive line. And Tim Fleischer, who comes in as the extra blocking lineman to the left side. They do a nice job of creating a hole on your left side there. All these guys up here, nice job of getting off the line of scrimmage, allowing a little bit of a seam. He falls him into the end zone. You can see Seth Dittman is in the end zone already, and anytime your offensive lineman is in the end zone, your back will score. Didn't score by much, but I tell you what.
Let's take another look at that exchange. Williams almost lost the ball on the pass from McManus. 9 plays, 75 yards. The last yard, the hardest. And now, attempting to make it a 3-point game. McManus looks in the end zone, knocked down. And it remains 24-23 Hamilton.
A nice job of Steve Anderson getting his hands up, knocking the ball out. They're trying to run a little rub route, get the guy coming outside, switch the line, the receiving core. But a good job. They run a little bit of a twist. Peoples comes inside. The tackle, Steve Anderson comes outside, leaves his feet. A nice job of anticipating the football.
And that keeps Calgary within a field goal of a win with 2:02 to go. There's the pass from McManus, and Williams almost fumbled that ball into the end zone.
Well, I tell you what, you're right, exactly that, Chris. I mean, he was really struggling to get that ball back into his stomach before he hit the goal line. On those situations, you got to give the credit, because I tell you what, had he been hit as he was struggling with that football, the ball surely would have been fumbled. Let's take a look at that exchange again. Danny Mack's going to take the center, take a snap from Colin Coulter. He puts it in there. Ronald Williams just mishandles it right there, but he gets it just enough back into his stomach to fall into the end zone. Very fortunate he wasn't hit on his way when the ball was loose.
In for a huge finish. Terry Bond. Good coverage by the Tiger Cats. Limits the return to 13 yards.
Well, Dan Pronik with the tackle. But I tell you what I really like is all day the special teams have stayed in their lanes, not allowing any big plays on the returns. And that's something you can't have at this stage in the game.
Dan Pronik, he's scheduled for surgery at the end of the season to repair a broken wrist. A Winnipeg native, a rookie. Ron Lancaster said it was a good year for a Canadian to come in and make his team for special teams. And Dan Pronik's one of the guys that did just that. Now it's Calgary. First down, Garcia long out to Aubrey Cummings. There's a rookie in the Hamilton scheme of things. Stays in bounds and is close to a first down.
Well, that's a cross-field pattern, and I can't believe they're playing so far off of him. He's over on the sideline just hugging it. Steinhauer and fellows are all sitting back 10 yards. That's an easy throw if you're going to be that far off.
That's what it's all about. Wally Buono looking for his second cut in Calgary in the 90s. The Ticats haven't won since '86. Although Ron Lancaster sipped out of it in 1993 with the Edmonton Eskimos. First down, Garcia. Here comes the rush, gets it away, and a completion to the 51. Travis Moore the catch. And this Calgary offense has not been shut down in the second half.
Well, they haven't been shut down. Let's go down to Glenn Suter.
Mark McLaughlin told me on the sideline that with the wind, he feels very comfortable inside of 57. Anything outside of that, he's not sure.
90 seconds left, Glenn, in regulation time. 24-23, Tiger Cats. Second and short. Garcia plunging again for the first down.
Well, nice drive of bouncing off the tackle, finding whatever it takes to move the chains. He wants the call now. He wants to, let's get it going. He wants the call now, so get everybody in a huddle. This is the crucial time. This is what it's all about. The last minute, 22 seconds.
Number one offense in the Canadian Football League against the number one defense. Showdown now in Winnipeg with the Grey Cup at stake. First down, Garcia wide open, Travis Moore. And Travis Moore is to the 45 of Hamilton. Frank West, the tackle, Right now, it would be a 52-yarder for McLaughlin.
Well, Travis Moore better go over and thank Vince Danielson, because Vince Danielson cleaned the area out. You can see Vince right up there running out of your screen. Both guys stayed with him, allowing him to come open and make the big catch and the big first down.
Gut check time for the would-be team of the 90s, the Calgary Stampeders. First down, Garcia, quarterback draw, close to another first down as he gets to the 35. He'll be a yard short. 49 seconds on the clock. Danny McManus pulled it out last week with under 24 seconds to go, but he may not get the ball back in his hands today.
Well, this is the big play. This is it right here. Second and short.
Clock running. Second less than a yard, and again Garcia straight up the gut, following Crysdale, Childress, and company.
Well, I tell you what, they just moved the ball, and this surge is phenomenal. This is excellent surge. Not only do they get the first down, they get to control the rest of the clock. They basically control the clock for the rest of the game now. Now it's just a matter of setting it up for Mark McLaughlin.
Garcia's rushed the football for 42 yards. Kelvin Anderson over 100 on the day. Half minute to go and the clock is running. Here's Anderson trying the left side, down to the 31, so you're inside the 40 for Mark McLaughlin, a Winnipeg native. In his 11th year, and still Garcia has a couple of more plays to go.
He's got a couple more plays, and if he doesn't throw the football, which I don't think he will, it'll be a matter of just positioning where he knows Mark likes to kick the best from.
And he will just position it right in the middle. Got a couple of extra yards over the 30 down to the 28. 11 seconds on the clock. And what a spot for an 11-year veteran who nearly lost his job at the start of the year. Off to a terrible start, mourning the death of his father, and now here in Winnipeg at the end of the season with a chance to win the Grey Cup, and all of the stadium now rising to their feet.
Well, he has said that his dad has the best seat in the house. He's up there watching down, and he couldn't have played this out any better right now. He wanted it to come down, as most kickers do, to him winning the game. This is what it's all about right now.
Mark visited his father's grave site yesterday, and now a 35-yarder that Garcia can't bear to watch. The final play of the 98 Grey Cup. It's good! And the Calgary Stampeders are Grey Cup champions.
Well, Glenn, I'd just like to give thanks to the Lord who's given me the opportunity, Glenn, to be here today, be a part of this championship season with the club, be able to do it here in front of my mom and my wife, my sister, my dad, who I know was blowing that wind behind us a little bit today. It's a great feeling, and I'm really happy for the organization.
Unbelievably, the start you had to the season, and here you are.
Well, you know, I did battle with an injury this year. It's something that, as you get a little bit older, those types of things happen, unfortunately. But, you know, I hopefully can learn from that and rehab a lot in the off season. Us having first place allowed me to take some time off, you know, that little break, and it helped an awful lot.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it.
Heartbreak on the other side for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They lived by the field goal a week ago on the final play, and today they die by it as they fall here 26-24.
What a great game, Chris, and the thing is, two great football teams. You know, it always comes down to this, and you hate to see somebody walk away without it, but unfortunately that's what it is. The best man won today, and hey, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, as you said.
There's your game MVP and a great champion in his own right, Ron Lancaster. Let's join Glenn Suter again.
Wally, congratulations. Unbelievable.
Thank you very much. I'd like to just take a second to thank my Lord Jesus Christ. He's been with me this whole time, and I just want to take time to thank him. I think the players, they showed tremendous hearts. It was a tremendous game. Both teams should be congratulated.
We're struggling in the middle of the game, but the guys hung in there, and they came back when you needed it.
Well, again, we didn't make some plays that were there for us, and this team has showed hard all year long, and this is basically the kind of team we've had. They didn't give up on each other, and in the fourth quarter, the offense did a tremendous job, and so did the defense.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Well, Jeff Garcia said that unless you win a championship, you're not a great quarterback. And he proved today that he is indeed a great one. You know, they called him a small S superstar in Calgary prior to the Western Final. We may have to capitalize it after today.
Oh, I think you definitely do. I mean, just composure. I mean, that's what we talk about the kickers wanting to do it, but I mean, he just took control of the whole game. He threw the ball well. He got great protection from his offensive line. Calvin Anderson, outstanding game running the football. Receivers ran nice routes. Everybody caught the football. It came down to the last drive, and he did what it had to do. He moved them down to field goal range, ran the clock down where nobody else would get an opportunity, and Mark McLaughlin put it down, and they are now the '98 Grey Cup champions.
One more year left in the decade, so the debate will continue. There's Rocco Romano riding high, a Hamilton native who used to sneak into Ivor Wynne Stadium to watch his beloved Tiger Cats. Well, he's tall in the saddle tonight. But now it's 2 championships for the Stampeders in the 90s, and maybe they still will be the team of the 90s.
You know what, Chris? I think one of the nice stories to come out of this is the fact that maybe the people who have been worried about or criticizing Wally Buono will get off his back right now. The guy has done everything. I mean, he's taken them to the final 7 out of the 9 years he's been head coach. He's got 2 championships. I mean, he just puts winning programs together. And I tell you what, if you're talking about a quarterback being measured by his success, I think it's time you start measuring Wally Buono by his successes and consider him what he really is, and that's a great football head coach.
Winningest coach in the 90s. You know, he was tagged with the same criticism as his old coach, Marv Levy. He has talked to Marv Levy on a number of occasions, but never about going over the top, never about the frustrations that are all gone now. Jeff Garcia couldn't watch, but I'm sure he knew Mark McLaughlin had things in good hands.
Well, he gets everything on this kick, too. Look at that. He's got beautiful rotation of the football. It is right down the pipe, right down the center. No mistaking that kick right there. Unbelievable. Nice stat. Look at the reaction. He knows. Look at.
Lucky number 13. Let's join Steve Armitage.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to call upon the commissioner of the CFL to present the Grey Cup to the 1998 champions, the Calgary Stampeders.
Ladies and gentlemen, another tremendous Grey Cup thriller. Congratulations to the Hamilton Ticats on a great game, and now it gives me great pleasure to present to Wally Buono, Sikuche, and the Calgary Stampeders the 86th Grey Cup. Congratulations to Calgary.
Determination, the Calgary Stampeders, 7 times first place finishers in the 90s, and finally they get their 2nd Grey Cup championship of this successful decade. Calgary, with a last-second field goal from Mark McLaughlin, will sip the bubbly tonight from Lord Grey's Cup. And Wally Buono, the coach of the 90s, is a winner again.